Okay, that's enough. How's everybody doing? Let's get to work. Brief note. Look, Tigers, you take a series from the Yankees. It's great. It's. I'm not going to sit here and bemoan. Rico's not going to hearken. You take 2 out of 3, you're good to go. We do have a baseball topic, but we're going to save it for tomorrow because I think you, the fans, got screwed the last 3 days, and it's just something I can never wrap my mind around. We're going to do it tomorrow. I want to jump right in to what happened last night. And I have to tell you, I think, A, it's every reason I'm not on social media. But even though I don't partake in that, I can't escape people's stupidity because it still bubbles to the surface. Kenny Cott, once we walked in today, I was asked by Rico, hey, are you aware Kenny went to the dark side? After the Wings, losing the most Wingsian way possible. You outshoot your opponent like 50-2 in the first. I lock in to watch the second and third. Once again, I can never not hear this drop watching, Cofield and Hudson, the diminutive defenseman, skating circles around the Wings. And then the Wings don't have anyone that, and they lose, right? And in the penultimate period of their season, if they had any hope, if Nona had any shot of not being in vegetative state, I think they had 2 shots in the third period. Real response there. May wanted to take that blue pill a little earlier. So Kenny tweets to the world, fire Steve Yzerman. He had it. Bruh. We're going to do this topic, but oh boy, before David hits the music, once Evan got to the responses to Kenny's tweet, my response was, I went, oh, man. So, yeah, for the people who responded, so let's just, okay. So here are the responses.
Pelican Bay.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to put cases on all you
be
bitches.
Playing hockey in Pelican Bay.
I want to start, and I am going to protect the identity of these people. Because, you know what? Maybe they were a little drunk. Maybe they were a little angry. Maybe this was their worst moment. We're not doing gotcha radio.
Quiet as kept. I thought maybe that was Kenny when he fired that tweet off.
So I'm going to read these, and I have to know, are these real people?
Oh. It's going to be good now.
The first response to Kenny Cott. Never forget that Ken Holland drafted Philip Zadina over Michigan alum and all-star defenseman Quinn Hughes. Haunts me to this day. But there's more. He carries some blame, no doubt. But Ken Holland completely handcuffed this team with the last 4 to 5 years of drafting. Unfortunately, still feeling the pain. Not trying to drag the OP here, but we gotta let go of this point. Ken Holland hasn't been the GM of the Red Wings for 2,182 days. That's 52,368 hours. How much time do you need to claim ownership of what's going on here? Now that is a good one. That person went on to get attacked without mercy. Ownership can already be claimed. However, with the terrible state of the franchise that Kenny Holland left, Steve, where do you get the fact that 2,182 days is too long? Which star players should be on the team leading us to the playoffs? Steady improvement since the days of a beer league lineup. If you can't acknowledge the improvement, then I don't know what to tell you. Are you counting the years it took to tear down the roster while having zero tradable assets in your day counter or hour counter? Asking for science. And the last one, once again, to Kenny writing, fire Steve Yzerman. The point is that this team was such a mess when Yzerman took over. Holland fumbled the drafts he had leading in, burned out on lotto wins a couple of times. Next year, with a full off season, this team will be way different.
Can I add a few?
Do whatever you want, man. Who are these?
Followed by
cockroaches.
Oh, no, David, can I get the music, please? Idiot. And the people liking it as well. Look at all the positives of this team. It's all Yzerman's guys. I think he should have pressure on him, but this team is about to take a giant step in talent with who we have got in waiting.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, you're a bleeping idiot. Yap for nothing shock jock.
I've never known Kenny Cott to be a shock jock. Kenny's actually, he might be a mess in certain aspects of his life. Kenny's a pretty well thought out guy when it comes to hockey.
Stick to sports you know, dude.
Ooh, you don't know puck, bitch. The guy's life is hockey. He charts his own Corsi.
Stick to football. Kenny, put down the Admiral Nelson and relax. Steve's got this offseason and trade deadline. Yeah.
All right, so can I just ask a critical question here? What portion of this fan base are just lemmings? Some of you may as well be Jerry Falwell in the corner while the pool boy goes at your wife. What is wrong with you? We are 6 years into this, and you are gripping this Ken Holland crap like a stripper grips the pole. Are you insane? Here's my question. When can we let the Kenny Holland thing go? He hasn't been here in 6 years. Oh, my God. Are you holding the boom mic? What is going on? This team tanked for a third March in a row. Mm-hmm. And we're still doing the Kenny Holland two-step? Yeah. You know what? We made a joke yesterday about the Titanic and how Yzerman is Rose and the fans are freezing to death. No, he is Rose. I'm pretty sure most of the fan base would sleep with him, and they don't even need the Ruby. I am blown away. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kenny was a little provocative saying, fire Steve Yzerman. Let me help you guys at 4:30 on a Wednesday. If his last name was anything other than Yzerman, even if the letters were slightly rearranged,
Yzerman,
he'd be unemployed and he'd be fired, gone, dust. And yet, they tanked the biggest period of their season. 2 shots. Lose again. Lord Mountbatten. Kenny says fire Steve Yzerman. You don't know puck. Kenny says fire Yzerman. I tell you, Kenny Holland left him in a real tough spot there, bub. I'm going to throw the number out because I just would like to know, A, when can the Holland thing die? Is it when Steve actually makes the playoffs that it is magically lifted? Is it at that point, like Coming to America, that the royal penis is now washed? That you can wash away the funk of Ken Holland? What is it exactly? And would you like to argue that if his last name wasn't Yzerman, he'd be fired, gone? Like any of these 3 things. Because I'll tell you, this that Evan provided me, put this into, evidence 3C.
Oh,
this is every reason I couldn't possibly function on social media.
Oh,
who are these people?
Bruh. Oh, here's the one I missed. Oh, another 97-1 idiot who knows nothing about hockey. If we fire Yzerman, that sets us back even further, so no thanks.
How? If you fire Yzerman and he's doing such an effing good job, how would you be set back? I'd argue signing another 5 JT Compers and Andrew Kopp would set us back.
You're right. Because if you fired him, new coach, new owner, everybody comes in and says, all right, you know what? I need this. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. You can go.
Bottom line, until I see the paperwork, which I'll never get to see, Yzerman's on a lifetime deal. I'm convinced of it more than ever. It's a lifetime deal.
I told you. People
do what you want. Go when you want. Whatevs. But I want to talk to the people. I do, Rico. I have to know. How can you rush to the defense using Ken Holland in 2025?
Because you know why. They can't separate the captain from Steve Yzerman.
Also,
they're two different people. He was the captain.
They're
but
not,
now he is just Steve Yzerman.
248-539-9797. Kenny, do you want to speak, or would you like a moment to collect yourself?
No, I'm good. I was a little overwhelmed by the response. And yeah, I was being a little provocative, tweeting out fire Steve Yzerman. I didn't quite expect that.
But how is it wrong?
It's not. Because
if his name wasn't Yzerman, would he be fired by NHL standards?
If this was Bob Smith, he would have been gone. In any market with any sort of standards.
Thank you. Okay. Wow. Say that last part. Say it known as good ear.
In any market that has standards.
But you don't know hockey.
Yeah, what is that reflex by hockey fan that if you say something they disagree with, you don't know puck?
Kenny Cott does not know hockey. That was funny.
Like, you know what I'd love is for like when PK Subban ripped Yzerman. PK Subban didn't know puck. Played sport. All-star. Doesn't know puck. I need Wayne Gretzky to say it, and I want a sea of Red Wing Falwells to say that Wayne Gretzky doesn't know puck.
That's why Ovechkin passed you.
Okay. You know what? 248-539-9797. Hockey Elite. The bat signal is up. The Wing season is now over. Third straight March with a collapse. Now we're into April. It's toast. The team sucks. Yzerman's moves have been brutal. So here's the deal. A, how long are you going to hold on to Ken Holland excuse? Argue that if his name was anything other than Yzerman, he'd be sandblasted out of town. And just explain to me when you get to have standards as a Wings fan. Not to be the number one seed. Not to win the President's Trophy. Not to win a Stanley Cup. To make the playoffs. Are you kidding me? There's a team whose best player died this summer, and they're ahead of you. He died. He went for a bike ride. He didn't come back. The Islanders traded their best player. I can't believe what I was provided. These are real people. They may bring kids into the world. Ken Holland resets?
Because it's easier to blame Ken Holland than to just blame the person in charge.
248-539-9797. All right, biggest golf event of the year with FanDuel. Every putt and drive can bring you a big win. All customers get a profit boost every round of the first major. Boost your winnings. Anything from outright winners to the tournament exactas. Evan and I got the Masters Megapod up today. You're all set with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Get involved, 21 and up, present Michigan. Opt-in required. Bonus issued non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms, sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we have started because we got to get into it. Wing season's officially dead, and last night was incredible. I mean, they outshoot the Canadiens like 25-3 in the first period. They don't get 25 shots the rest of the game. They don't get 20 shots the rest of the game. They don't get 15 shots the rest of the game. They had 2 in the last period. And once again, I got to watch diminutive players skating circles around this team. I mean, Hudson did a start and stop thing along the boards. I go, he would have won a gold at Sochi. It was unbelievable. So here's my point. Kenny writes, fire Steve Yzerman. He's just done. So I want you can pick and choose, argue what you want. A, how the hell are people lining up and defending it with Ken Holland stuff 6 years in? Guys, there's no sport where you get to blame the previous guy 6 years in. That's one. When do we get to let go of the Kenny Holland thing? 2, can we just establish a truth here? If his last name's not Yzerman, he's fired. He's gone. It's over. Now, I'm not even arguing the why. No, he is Steve Yzerman. But guess what? I don't care. You're hired to do a totally different job. Hey, Steve, do you remember the shot against John Casey? I don't care. That's a different human. That guy's dead. This guy's a CEO. 6 years in, and I'm watching this team not make the playoffs again. Third straight year he does nothing at the deadline. Third straight year they collapse. And the last piece, just tell me when we get to have expectations. But how is Kenny being assaulted?
The first year of this collapse was like, oh, well, wait till next year. We'll see some young guys next year. That's fine. And then they said that the next year. And now they're trying to say it this year. Mm-hmm. Wait till year 7, all right? Wait till
Held on to your previous coach about 7 months too long.
They are truly going on the Ken Holland plan of this might take 10 years. No, I'm sorry. I can't abide that.
Not because I think most people who are the hardcore fans who came after you because they know puck and you don't, we've said it before, they're waiting for the receipts. See, yeah, they finally won. Maybe 10, 11 years later, but you finally – at that point, you're a broken clock.
Yeah,
you're bound to be correct.
At some point, the Buffalo Sabres are going to be in the playoffs. Does that mean their management is any good right now?
Right.
No.
Rico nailed it. Broken clock. If I let somebody hang around long enough, they're eventually going to make the playoffs. And when you hired Steve Yzerman, the idea is you hired someone elite. Well, I'm sorry. You could say, hey, I'm not firing the guy. I'm not mad at you. You should be mad at him. His seat should be red effing hot. But the defenders... Ken Holland resets. You gotta be kidding me. I was in shock, but I'm not on social media. I can't believe these are real people. They're like gremlins.
When he put that out there, I was like, oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. Didn't know I was going to get this type of reaction, but I was like,
hey, newsflash. When the Detroit Pistons take 1 year to turn it all around with one of the great turnarounds in NBA history, and it's juxtaposed in the same seasonality as your Detroit Red Wings, I'm sorry. Then you factor in what happened with the Tigers. Then you factor in what happened with Brad Holmes.
Right there.
Hey, how about what Dusty May just did with Michigan? No, everything's not equal. The problem is everybody's doing everything all the time, and then there's you, right. Jerry Falwell in the corner.
It tells you that you can turn around a team. You can turn around a program fast. You don't have to give it 7, 8 years.
Oh, you mean Dusty May doesn't get to blame Brian Ellerby? And I'm being facetious there, but I mean, Jesus.
No, but here's the thing. He could have blamed Juwan because he was only in year 1. So he could have said, you know what?
He didn't.
He didn't. Guys, you can all leave. I'm bringing in 11 new guys. We're going to just go for it.
Hey, I got news flash to you. All right, you want to bomb Kenny Holland? Bomb him. Guess who wears the C? The player Steve inherited. I understand fully this was a brutally difficult rebuild. It's 6 years in. Enough. Montreal went to the final in 21, was the worst team in hockey the next 3 years. Hey, look, they're back. And I got guys skating around like the Lollipop Guild doing figure eights around the wings. Oh, hey, look. Yeah, and then guess what? The worst turnover of the night. Oh, look, it's Tarasenko, another corpse that Steve brought to you. Argue it, anybody. You want to go to the people? So I've given you 3 pathways. You do whatever you like with it. I believe Austin is batting leadoff. Austin, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, Austin. Frustrated.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I've kind of defended Stevie now for a while, and I think that this offseason is the timetable where we have to make a decision because we actually have a free agent pool that we can make a splash. You can actually gain 3 or 4 solid players for our lineup, cut some of that dead weight that we have laying around. But the real problem, I think, with this rebuild is that we've kind of been screwed in the draft lottery over and over since Steve has been hired. Then you factor in that we have to kind of put puzzle pieces together to put a lineup out there. We don't have true assets that people are willing to trade for. So we can't make a splash in a free agency market or a trade market at all.
Hold on, Austin, wait a second. Now, that's not totally true. And Kenny, I'll tell you what, take Austin's side if I'm wrong on any of this. I beg of you. Austin, we spent how many years here where Yzerman wouldn't give out term? How many hockey insiders openly writing he didn't want to give more than 3 or 4 years? Okay, that's problem 1. 2, you don't get to have it both ways. He's a great drafter, but he got screwed in the draft. How long do we have to hear about prospects that aren't here, and then you call in and tell me we don't have anything anybody wants? That's not true. Then you got to factor in at the deadline, he willfully chooses to do nothing. Even this year, brazenly telling the players help is not on the way. Austin, come on. You got to meet me in the middle here.
But Stevie had several calls out there during the trade deadline, and he just couldn't work a deal because players either, A, don't want to come to Detroit right now. We're not that destination we used to be. That's the fact. Secondly, we don't know what offers were out on the table. Like, how are we going to try to trade like a guy like Andrew Kopp and some extra, bag of pucks for somebody's star? Nobody's going to make that trade.
Well, I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't attach a second-round pick to one of your best defensemen who's a puck mover and a fast skater who actually goes very fast and pay someone to take him, and a year later, San Jose gets a first for Wallman. Austin, right. He's been a disaster.
I'm even more disappointed that we let Gostisbehere walk.
Well, there you go. You let 2 guys. One's a quarterback of a power play. The other guy can move. And Austin, you got to at least cop to this. No pun intended with Andrew Kopp. His pro acquisitions have been a disaster. Period. Amen. Hallelujah. And here's the other thing. Well, we don't know the offers. You know what? Here's what I know. Nothing he offered was good enough. And then Steve goes out the day after the deadline and gaslights the fan base. Well, I couldn't go all in. Who was asking you to go all in? We were asking for something. You gave us Peter Mrazek and some guy named Craig Smith. Kenny, stop me where I'm wrong. You don't know puck.
I just don't understand the idea of the last caller saying, oh, he's a great drafter, but we don't have anything to trade.
Oh, here's the other thing.
Yes, you do.
If you can only rebuild the team when you get the number 1 pick, then explain Jim Nill in Dallas.
Yeah, Wyatt Johnston's starting to look real good right about now. Still waiting on Kosa.
I'll hang on. I love the show, Kenny. First time, long time.
We have tons of blue chip prospects in the system right now. That's called trade value. If you want to attach a pick to them, you could have got something very valuable.
When you have a lifetime contract, because until I ever see a copy of his, I'm convinced it's lifetime, you don't have to do anything. It's the folly of it all. That's how he sat there the day after the deadline after doing nothing again. By the way, if you guys want to say, well, here's what we don't have here, you know what Steve does have? Tell you what he does have. The authority to put a bullet in a coach. You started the season with Despicable Me for 36 games. Everyone knew he should have been gone. What? What? Despicable Me. They always want to talk about what he doesn't have or didn't get or couldn't control and never want to discuss all the things that are absolutely at the fulcrum of the laser of his purview as the CEO of Red Wings hockey. Come on. That's like saying a radio host can't choose his topics.
No, I'm with you. Despicable Me wasn't ready for that. You're on fire today.
Because these people, I can't believe they're real.
They are. They are, because it means you have to hold your hero to the same standard that you hold everybody else.
Mike, I just wish we knew puck. That's all. I would like somebody to tell me.
Kenny, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm open about it. Okay, and I'm not. You know what? I'll do it next, because we've got Hockey Elite lined up and ready to rock, and I want to be timely. Okay, all right, personal growth.
Entertaining and timely.
That's right. Listen, you brought me an iced coffee. You're getting the deluxe package today. Distracted driving. It's a disaster. Some idiot right next to you is probably doing it right now. Call Mike Papura, National Benefit Plans. Mike will help you find a life insurance plan that not only covers your family's needs, but is affordable. And with Mike, he's going to shop over 70 different carriers, guarantee the best possible rate. You're not going to deal with some goofball 6 states over. Mike's a real human being. He's been in the game for 30 years. National Benefit Plans will bring the experience you need to choose the right life insurance for your loved ones. NBPHealth.com. That's NBPHealth.com. All right, let's get to it. If you're just tuning in, the Hockey Elite has arrived. Kenny was assaulted last night on social media because he typed in the words, fire Steve Yzerman. And we all know he's on a lifetime deal. Unless I saw, like, in the Louvre, a framed picture of his contract that said it wasn't a lifetime deal, it's a lifetime deal. The point is, if his name's not Yzerman, he'd be fired. And second of all, people attacking Kenny using Ken Holland defense mechanism is the most remarkable thing, I think, ever for me, because it's 2025. Like people talk about like when they talk politics and there's Trump derangement syndrome. I think people have Yzerman derangement syndrome, YDS. These people that attack Kenny, I can't believe they're real. So tell me when we can drop the Kenny Holland thing. Is it just when Steve gets it right and then all of a sudden you've taken this spiritual bath? When do we get to have expectations? Because it's clearly not 6 years. Because Kenny got MF to high hell. And the other thing is, deny the claim that if his name wasn't Yzerman, he'd be fired. Just any of those three. Do whatever you like. Yes, Kenny, quickly.
No, the second that we do eventually make the playoffs, that's when people will be like, wow, look at how far we've gotten since Ken Holland.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be backwards receipt season.
Let's go to Sam, 97.1. Sammy, what's good?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Good, Sam.
Before I make my point, I'm just going to preface this. If I hear one more Ken Holland excuse or that lotto luck crap, I think I'm going to hit my head to a cinder block. I'm going to just allow me to do a cross-sport comparison, okay?
Yes, sir.
Joe Dumars won a title as a player, 2 titles as a player. He created the Going to Work Pistons and won an unfathomable title with the Pistons as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
And we launched him out of a cannon out of the city to the point where he hasn't come back. What is up with these people? And you said it, it's deranged Yzerman syndrome. I don't get it, because the second I tell my Hockey Elite friends Steve isn't doing good, and I've been saying this for the past 3 years, I get shamed. And we need a Harvard study, and Rico needs to call his buddies to study the thought process of the so-called Hockey Elite. It makes no sense to me. His name, it can't carry that much weight because Dumars is basically shunned from this city because what he did.
You've nailed it. Sam, he made 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. The poor guy's house caught on fire and he left town. I mean, I'm totally with you. It's an insane situation.
No expectations. I mean, you look at what the Nuggets just did. They have so much expectations that they just asked their GM and coach a week before the playoffs. Why do we think this guy's untouchable?
I didn't understand the Nuggets thing.
Well, okay. You know what? I don't want to derail the topic. I'll just tell you that's why the NBA is a wholly unserious soap opera. The fact is, Booth and Malone didn't like each other. And Silver Spooner Josh Kroenke, Stanley's little kid, owns the team. You had Booth, who was an incel for ownership to save millions instead of going all in. Malone wanted to win titles. Remember the greedy bastards comment? Bottom line, the organization went, well, you two don't get along. You're both gone. Real motivating. Meanwhile, Jokic is playing the best ball of his life. Carry on. We'll go to Mike, 97.1. Mikey, what's up, pal?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, Mike. What's up?
Like, if I owned the Red Wings, I would have to fire Yzerman. Like, I don't trust him making free agent signings. I don't trust him making trades. And I'm going to say something. I really don't like the culture that he's building. Like, Justin Hall is playing way too much, and he's not an NHL player. And at some point, you have to let him go. Like,
well, when you let Gostisbehere and you basically pay for someone to take Wallman, a guy that was a healthy scratch last year in Hall is now an every nighter, and he's atrocious.
Oh, I know. And like the Red Wings, since Steve Yzerman has come in, like you always say, NFL teams make their best moves kind of in the second or like later rounds, those late round finds.
Yeah.
Yzerman's second round picks and farther, like there's only one player from like the second round who's actually like played NHL games, and that's like Albert Johansson. And he, like, literally Yzerman had to play him because if he sent him back down to Grand Rapids, he was going to lose him. And guess what? He's one of the better defensemen this year. So like, and just even the way the season started, I mean, Marco Casper was not in the opening night lineup, and I see that guy hustle so much, and it's just he's giving lazy vets. He's giving them just lazy vets just the free.
Well, look at Tarasenko. And Tarasenko is one of the worst free agent signings of this cycle. He was awful start to finish this year. And last night, how apropos, it was his lazy-ass pass late in the game, turnover right to Montreal, that sets up your demise. Mike, if his name's not Yzerman, he is out of here.
No, he's gone. And, I would ask any fan, hey, do you trust Yzerman in free agency given his track record? Do you trust him trading? Because, if you would have told me that he would have given away a second-round pick and a first-round pick, because that's what Jake Wellman is. You had to attach a second to get rid of him, and then, he got a first back. If you would have told me when we hired Yzerman, I would have told you you're out of your mind, but that's what he did. I can't defend him anymore. And you're
I'm
right.
with you.
His name was John Smith.
Look, the other thing, too, that really chaps your ass is you sit there watching Lane Hudson, kid, I think he's from Holland, Michigan. He was picked 65th overall.
Not first.
No, Lane Hudson's a superstar. The kid's skating circles around you. Yeah, sure, he's a member of the Lollipop Guild, but the kid can play. He's probably your rookie of the year this year.
Yeah, and, the Wings had 2 draft picks in that round. They drafted a kid called Dylan James. He's not even a top 15 prospect, according to The Athletic.
Oh, super.
And it's just there's so many opportunities, but he just won't call up these guys he drafts in the second round or later. Even if Antti Tuomisto is bad, I'd rather see him called up than Justin Hall, because look what happened with Albert Johansson. You gave him a chance, and he's been one of the better defensemen. Even if he's not great, he's better than Justin Hall, which is mind-blowing.
Well, Rico's better than Justin Hall. Factually, Rico can't skate, Mike, but still.
Wrong.
Really? Good for you. Listen, Mike, here's the other thing I don't trust, and I could welcome Jenny in on this.
David, you know why he said that.
That is absolutely untrue, but I don't care. I'll take the slander. Mike, I don't trust Steve to have an honest conversation about, say, Dylan Larkin. Is Dylan Larkin really the captain, and is Dylan Larkin a first-line center on a Stanley Cup team? I don't know that.
Well, that's the thing. When people are we should trade Dylan Larkin, I don't have an answer because Yzerman doesn't come out. He doesn't talk to the media. He doesn't give timelines. And it's just if the rebuild's going to be done in 4 years, then yeah, we should probably trade Dylan Larkin.
I'm not saying trade him. I'm saying you have to be honest about things. And you know what? Maybe Dylan's your second line center.
Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is, if I don't have a clear timeline, I can't defend the position that we should keep Dylan Larkin, because I have no idea what's happening, because Yzerman refused to talk to the media. Yeah. And the sense I get is he has this air of superiority, and I wonder if reporters would actually press him on the Jake Wellman thing.
Mike, I don't think it's an air of superiority.
Was not known as a good teammate.
Mike, I don't think it's an air of superiority. I think it's more of there's no fire under him. He doesn't have to do anything.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Okay. Oh, no. It's the height of superiority. Okay. It is his bleep don't stink superiority. Please.
You don't have to answer to anybody. You can
lifetime deal.
You can take your time.
Superiority.
You know what? Tomato.
You know what? We're saying the same.
We could agree.
Same stupid
thing. We're saying the same.
You know what, Rico?
If that game happened at LCA, you would hear a lot of booing. I promise you that.
Oh, you sure?
I'm sure.
They wouldn't have had a blame Ken Holland montage at the end of the game?
I don't think there would be a blame Ken Holland chant. I don't think that'd go over. No.
Kenny, I'll tell you, the fact that people are launching "You Don't Know" puck at you, oh my Lanta. That is unreal.
Well, check this one out that just came through on his responses. We just got Abdicator off the books this year. Yzerman timer starts now for me.
I'm done. Rico, curiosity. I'm not dignifying that with a response.
And David, just for the record, 4th grade, learned how to ice skate. All right. Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. They won't judge you. I won't judge you. You can go in there and get strong your way on your time. Feel your strongest, best self with the best in-class equipment for a full body workout, from strength training to cardio to stretching, with brand new machines like the plate-loaded hack squat, supine bench press, the seated calf machines, along with Stairmasters, treadmills, you name it. Planet Fitness has it, along with convenient hours that will fit your schedule and your routine. Free fitness trainers free fitness training from knowledgeable trainers who will focus specifically on you. And now through April 11th, $1 down gets you into the club, and $15 a month is all you have to pay to join Planet Fitness. Head over to your local Planet Fitness right now. There's one near you because there's over 50 in the Metro Detroit area. You can join right there in the club. You can go online at planetfitness.com or on the free Planet Fitness app. We're all strong on this planet, Planet Fitness.
Northville Lumber, we talk about them all the time. Largest Trex decking outlet in the country. Northville, Michigan's Trex Superstore. They stock all colors of Trex decking, railing, lighting. They have it all the time and at the lowest prices. So whether you're a builder or a do-it-yourselfer, you can count on Northville. They will have what you're looking for. They'll have it when you need it. Plan it, build it, buy it. Northville Lumber. Call them today or stop by their showroom. Take some samples home. Call Northville Lumber, Michigan's Trex Superstore today, or go to northvillelumber.com. That's northvillelumber.com. All right, we'll check in on the ticket text with David. If you guys are just joining in, it's really, really simple. Some of the Red Wing fan base is just screwed in the head. Kenny was emotional last night. He said, fire Steve Yzerman. And the reality is, if his name wasn't Steve Yzerman, he would be fired, period. But if you want to argue that, go ahead. We know he has a lifetime deal, even though we don't know. We do know. Like, give me a break. You can't operate this way if you don't have a lifetime deal. But then it's the question of, how could people be rifling defenses of Steve Yzerman using Ken Holland in 2025? That's madness. That's a level of copium that is only rivaled by Michigan fans. That is wild. And it's the third straight year. They do nothing at the deadline. They collapse down the stretch. It's the same core. He made every wrong move on a pro scouting level. You let Gostisbehere and you paid to have Wallman out of here. And now you're playing Lieutenant Dan, a.k.a. Petrie, on one leg, and you're playing Hall every night. You sign the dead body of Tarasenko. These are moves that get you fired. And if I got to hear about Sandin Pellikka and these other guys that haven't played a minute in the NHL, enough. That's like talking about Max Clark. Enough. They're not here. And even if they get here and they're eventually good, they didn't help me now. So why do we have to hear about Kenny Holland? Why does Kenny have to get slandered? How could any Red Wing fan be offended by the conversation of, you know what? This ain't it. This doesn't work for me 6 years in. And that's like a Spartan fan blaming Mark D'Antonio for the ills of the program now. That's patent absurdity.
It is. It's fanned. It's fandom, Mike. It's your hero. No, not you. Not you. But people cannot separate the captain from Steve Yzerman.
Ready? I'm going to help them. This is my advice. It's free. The next one will cost you. Grow up! Holy hell. The guy you worshipped is dead. That version of him, dead. This version, running your team into the dirt.
Right.
It's grow up.
Right. But they still see the guy that scored in double overtime.
Great. Then they believe in Santa Claus, too. I don't care.
You know when that happened? In the playoffs. Get us there now, Steve. That's what I want now. Get us there now.
They're still waiting for him to rebuild the Wings the way he did Tampa.
Oh, so not win a cup.
Oh, boy. I knew that was coming.
You know, the second I said it, I did want to bring those words back.
Didn't he kind of inherit Stamkos and Hedman?
Yes, he did.
But
just asking a question.
Look at all the success that Tampa has had. Detroit will have that too under him.
Will we?
So you're looking at Steve the player and what Steve did there, and you're just waiting.
I don't care about Steve the player.
Yeah, you can miss me with that.
No, not me.
I'm going to tell you this. I was at LC at the Pistons game. I looked up at number 19 and got upset.
Oh, Jesus.
Because that is not what we have right now.
David, you're upset the minute you get out of bed.
That's fair. That's fair.
And lately you've been on one.
You said it. You accused him of black-on-black crime.
Oh, please.
All right, David, ticket text,
I felt
please.
like I was in Django.
Whoa.
Just somebody read something, please.
Did Kill?
I will not. Kenny, we are steering totally clear of that.
Okay.
You're going to see the by and by. Go ahead.
Boom. I know the scene.
Did Ken Holland sign Hall, Petrie, Comfort, Tarasenko, Gustafson, and Mott? No. It is on Steve Yzerman. That is Doug in
Hey,
Livonia.
did he leave a dead man walking coach to waste 36 games of a season? No. Did he do anything in the last 3 years of the trade deadline? Did Kenny Holland have that magic 8-ball? No.
These fans are delusional. This is Yzerman's team. Almost all of Holland's players have been gone for years.
Except your captain, who you
Correct.
apparently love.
Also, let me say it out loud for the people in the back. The Red Wings prospects aren't that good. Whoa.
I can't. Listen, I'm not going to do
Whoa.
that.
I don't know about that.
That'd be equally disingenuous, but here's the bottom line. They're not one player away. So if Sandin Pellikka is excellent, that's wonderful. Will he be excellent from day one? Will he be able to come over, have no time in the minors here, and be excellent? I don't know. But beyond him, look, the Danielsons and the Nygaards and the Wallanders, I don't think it's fair to say they're all amazing and they're all terrible. It's going to be hit or miss. But we will be in year 7 by the time we get to find out. I mean, look, this summer, you're not one prospect away. Like, you would need something seismic, like all of a sudden Mitch Marner's a Red Wing. And you're bringing in 95 points, and you're bringing in a guy who needs a change of scenery because he's always just maligned up there in Toronto. I don't know. I don't trust Steve to do that kind of thing. I don't. I would leave it to Kenny. I just don't see him doing the bold things that would need to be done to get them to another level. Christ, we traded for Peter Mrazek, so we had another stiff in the goalie room next year.
Yeah. That one still does not make any sense because it wasn't like, oh, he'll be gone at the end of this season. He'll be here next year.
Nope, there's $4.5 million of guy I don't want here. Yes, Kenny?
No, you just said Mitch Marner. It made me very exactly.
No, I'm saying I don't trust Steve to do that type of thing.
I don't trust Steve not just to do that type of thing, but his pro scouting has been so bad that even if we were to do something like that, it would be a little concerning, even though it's what I want to happen.
You would question, okay, what's wrong with him?
Well, then you know you're effed. If that's how you're treating your GM, you're treating him like I treat Joe Shane.
How else am I supposed to treat him?
You quit.
I will not quit. I've quit this season, but I will not quit.
You do what I've done with Michigan State athletics. You submit. You just quit. It's over.
No, you're sitting in the corner.
Ooh-wee. I just don't. Okay, you know what? I'll take a call. We'll go to Jake 97.1. Jake, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good.
I'm here to fully support Kenny. And it's funny that we're talking about Holland because I called you 11 years ago, and the Red Wings were in the exact same scenario. You may be 7, you may be 8, but you're trying to get to the playoffs, signing absolute retreads with just you have no direction. And the coachings have been a failure, and the signings. I mean, you guys do player A, player B, and I got one for you, and I'm not going to hide the names because this is hockey. I mean, this isn't football. Jesus.
Okay, thank you for that.
JT Comfort, he makes $5 million a year, just over $5 million. The last 2 years, he's had 80 points. Ryan O'Reilly was a center, also a veteran, also won Stanley Cups. He makes only $4.5 million a year, and Yzerman loves the shorter term, is only on a 4-year deal. He has 50% more points in the past 2 years. Wow. That is putrid, and it's just a disgrace. It's just a disgrace. And, I mean, the trades have been a complete failure, too. Like, DeBrincat doesn't count. DeBrincat forced Ottawa to trade him to us.
Right.
And, you know, it's funny you mentioned Larkin. I really don't think he's a number one center. I mean, years ago, back when Phoenix was an absolute, disgrace and they were playing out of Arizona State, Yzerman should have traded for Clayton Keller. And I know nobody knows who that is except me and Kenny and maybe some of the other hockey elite, but that guy's unbelievable. He could have traded everybody, and we would have been in a hell of a lot better position, including Larkin.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Jake. How do I explain this? It seems like all the things that don't matter in reality are the only things people care about. Oh, he's from Waterford. Oh, but he's a nice kid. Oh, he's the captain. And it's like, Jake, I'm with you. There are no sacred cows. When I can't make the playoffs and I got a longer drought than the Dead Wings did, the Dead Things, Jake, I don't care if he's from Waterford or Willy Wonka land. You got to have honest conversations about,
Make
okay,
the tough decisions.
I don't know what to do. I just don't even think they would consider doing anything.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I mean, I'm not going to, I'm siren myself a little bit here, but like my brother was a very successful hockey player in Hockey East. Kenny's going to know what that is. And he looks at the Red Wings roster and just is disgusted. Like, he goes, where are the Canadians? Like every great team. I mean, we make fun that they haven't won a Stanley Cup, but they're all like, where are our great Canadians? I mean, we need them to win a Stanley Cup. It's just math. So, I mean, we have nobody, and it's brutal. It's brutal. We have no superstar. And I mean, Raymond's coming along, but I mean, he needs someone to protect him, for God's sakes. Like, Ryan O'Reilly would have never let whatever the captain of the Rangers is beat the crap out of him last year. That would never be allowed. And there's just things. And somebody talked about culture. They're absolutely right. We're just soft.
Kenny, you want to argue anything?
No, I have very little to disagree with there. And the toughness thing, and I think, Mike, you said it at the beginning of the show, the speed thing. We don't have the guy that can go very fast.
You know what? You deserve it.
Thank you.
We don't.
We don't. And the superstar thing, I think you're approaching it with Lucas Raymond, not quite there yet. But if you picked up a Mitch Marner, oh boy, everybody's life gets a lot easier.
You know what? And I don't know who it would be. I'm not claiming to have that answer. But here, I don't care. Blaspheme. Mo Seider needs help because he hasn't developed the last 2 years into anything more than what he is, which is really good, but he is not a superstar. And he's asked to play heavy minutes in his own end, but the offense hasn't developed. You know what you got to do now? Now you can't put an unlit candle next to him. You have to put a really good player in order to unlock more of Mo Seider. Right. So maybe the addition is a superstar on D. Oh, but those aren't cheap. Do your effing job.
Or, maybe use some of the pieces that you have that's waiting in the wings. And
yes, Kenneth.
Aaron Ekblad's going to be free. Maybe if Florida, doesn't wrestle him back there. Aaron Ekblad.
But again, it would have to be Steve doing what he hasn't been able to do: recruit.
Yeah.
Sorry, not being rude to you.
No, I'm just I do struggle with it though because he hasn't done it well. So if he brings somebody in, it's almost to me like, man, they got to prove that they're actually capable.
Yeah, then you meant every word you wrote last night. If you like free pizza, this is for you. Hungry Howie's has got you covered. Their latest deal, the creators of the original flavored crust. Right now, it's very simple. You can get free Hungry Howie's. Just go to hungryhowies.com. You sign up for emails. Make any $10 order. That's before taxes and fees. And you get a medium 2-topping with whatever flavored crust you want and any 2-topping combo you're craving for free. That simple. Sign up for the emails, spend $10, get a medium 2-topping for free. It's a limited time offer, so people will scoop it up. Get your free pizza while you can, only online and only at hungryhowies.com. All right, let's get straight to the Hockey Elite. We're talking wings. We're talking Yzerman. We're talking people assaulting Kenny on socials using Ken Holland defenses. We didn't get the number 1 pick defenses. At what point do you lay your Yzer sword down and just go, hasn't done good job? I mean, good golly. We go to Connor, 97.1. True Hockey Elite. Connor is with us.
It is an afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes.
First off, I'd like to apologize to Kenny for yesterday making fun of his emotions. I think I was the emotional one in that equation. But anyway,
okay.
I got so angry this afternoon. I did math, and in an $88 million salary cap league, by my estimations, and you can give and take on who's a bot and who's not, we have about $30 million, I'd say, in cap that I'm not exactly happy with. Now, could you imagine if we had some of that going into this offseason and we could throw 2 years at $8 million to Brad Marchand, to Aaron Ekblad, your Islanders boy, Brock Nelson? I mean, I couldn't imagine that world. And not only that, but I wouldn't, even if we had that, I wouldn't trust Steve with that kind of cap space. I don't know who he'd sign. He'd find someone who hasn't played in the league in 4 years.
I mean, it does Connor begs to what Kenny said, where you'd even question the person that he brings in, because it's like, okay, are you damaged goods? Are you at the end of your run? Like the faith in bringing in that quality player has diminished in this city.
We used to say it with who was it? Was it Weaver? We don't want to give him another offseason?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And that's where I'm at, because ultimately, Connor, when you when you feel like your GM's got to start throwing Hail Marys to get it on track, you probably just want to change quarterbacks. And that's my problem. Now, look, they're not going to do it, and we're all going to hope for the best. But like, I can't keep doing this with people blindly defending him. He should sit on the hottest seat in the NHL. Full stop. I mean, Chris Drury in New York, they're ready to launch him from the Empire State Building ass first. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, but enough.
And I'm not worried about him throwing Hail Marys. I'm more worried about him going out and getting 3 more JT Comforts and telling me everything is going to be fine. Which I feel like at this point in the rebuild, seeing what he's done the past couple off seasons and trade deadlines is a valid concern.
I think you're totally rational, but you don't know puck. We'll go to Chris, 97.1. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good. What's on your mind, bud?
Everyone's kind of touched on it, but, the big thing is obviously we're not really trusting Yzerman to make moves, but it seems like we're just stuck in hockey purgatory where we can't do anything to get out of this mess. So I guess the ultimate question for you and Kenny is, what do we do to get out of here? Clearly, if he's not willing to spend money, is it time to start dealing all these prospects or start to buy out contracts? What's the move to get out of here? Because I'm tired. I'm on the same track. I'm tired of Steve. It's time to go.
Well, I think the pathway out of this is you have to weaponize some of your draft capital and some of those prospects. And Steve will hear that and say, oh, we don't want to, sell the farm. Again, nobody's saying sell the farm. But there is a middle ground that you can use to weaponize those things for an actual NHL-ready player. Or you could spend a little money this offseason. I know Marner's the pie in the sky, but if it came out that we were interested in him, that would excite me.
Okay. That's it? Chris, anything? You good, bud?
Yeah, sorry, I was just processing and everything. That would be all great if we could do it. It just, like everyone else kind of said, is whether or not Steve will do it is going to be a whole nother thing. But it just, even if Steve does it seems like our luck right now is we're just going to get stuck in this, and we're going to be 2 more years down the road, and we're not going to be anywhere close. We're going to have 2 more March collapses. So it's just frustrating right now that we're not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like we have a path to get anywhere.
You don't, because you've gotten on the treadmill of mediocrity. And it's really hard to get out. And that's part of my issue is, okay, now the pathway. Look, Chris, this is the issue now. I'm not telling you to like it. The pathway is wait for the kids. That once Kosa's here and Pelika's here and Wallender's here and Nygaard's here and Danielson's here, that it'll all be okay. The way I view it is, if you have all of these cheap bodies coming up and I don't have to pay them nothing, Get rid of some of the dead weight. Make a splash. Let's get at it. I'm sorry. Sider is flatlined. He's very good, but he's not going to progress when you can't put good people with him and you're asking him to play hellacious minutes in his own end. Need to help him. Yeah. Up front, you got to call it. You got a major question about whether Larkin's your top line center. Anyone who's convinced that Larkin can be a first-line center on a Stanley Cup winning team, I think that's hopium. It's a maybe, it's hopium. The reality is he's probably your second-line center on a Stanley Cup team. So you got major things to do. I don't give an F about the prospects. You can call them up, bring them up, do whatever you want. The odds that those kids in short order are going to lead you to the promised land, that's not how any sport works, much less hockey. It is very rare for a Lane Hudson to come up and do what this kid's doing at 21 years old, and he weighs 7 pounds. There are infant babies being born at Beaumont right now that weigh more than Lane Hudson. I mean, that guy, if he went a day without eating, he could ride a horse. He could double as a jockey.
Really?
No, he's probably about 30 pounds too heavy. But my point is, Rico, it's just, that's the only way out. There has to be something seismic this summer.
There does. I mean, and I don't know if would you look at it as he's trying to add to the team, or is it out of an act of desperation because he kind of realizes we've gone a long time.
You know the other problem? Winning. Here's your other problem.
Because when you act out of desperation, that never works either.
You know, and I want Kenny and David's opinion on this, but I want yours first because you just made a claim in the commercial that you could outskate Mike Gardner in his prime. This is important. The absence of a real owner. The absence of someone to call you into the corner office and go, here's the deal. Now, I understand it would never work that way. Steve wouldn't work under those conditions. But that's part of the reason why I don't believe in lifetime deals. That's why I wouldn't put myself in this position. Bottom line, a real owner would go, here's the deal. Fix this summer or you're gone. And I need someone to put on the tickets. Make a move. It won't happen here. Ever. Go ahead and argue it. I'll hang up and listen.
I can't.
No, because you know what that means? And I would turn around and say, so that means you're going to open up the checkbook and you're going to allow me to go out and get whatever I want.
Well, that's not an issue. There's a salary cap. They spend. It's just Yzerman spends it on Ponzi schemes. I want to invest in the Tarasenko fund. You're bankrupt. The guy just buys Enron.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Yzerman right now can do what he wants, but when it hasn't worked, someone needs to walk down to that office and say, look, you got to change some of your strategies here. We got to make the playoffs.
Oh, and here's Steve's response. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. Here's what he'll have to say. It's backwards. What did you just say to me? I'm glad you enjoyed that.
I did.
I don't know. I guess the weather will warm up at some point. But while we're still getting screwed over with ice cold temps, probably should tell you about Victor's Home Solutions. And you got to get them to come out. If you've got questions about your roof or your windows, any suspicions about water, look, we live in a state. Look at the weather. The freeze and thaw cycle, it terrorizes your home, your window casings, all of it. And your roof, oh, yes. 21-point roof and window inspection. They'll go over every square inch of the roof and windows, make sure there's nowhere water can get in. They'll allow you to catch a minor problem early and hopefully fix it with an inexpensive repair. So if it is time for that new roof or windows, Victor's has you covered. Prompt follow-up, on-time appointments, perfect installation the first time. Call today before things get worse. 734-773-1100 or online at victors.com. Odyssey.com rewind. You missed anything tomorrow? We are all systems go. No more day games. We've got a baseball topic to do about why the hell we even play baseball this early in the year in cold weather environments. We have a Masters kickoff show. We're going to have some fun with that. And yes, I've got some football things for Mr. Rico Beard. Lots to do tomorrow. David, a few ticket texts here before we welcome the guys in.
I agree with Yzerman's free agent signings being garbage. That's on him. And pro scouting needs to be at the minimum on a very hot seat, possibly fired. John in Waterford says, not defending Yzerman by any means. He's done terrible with free agent signings. But look at Holland's last 3 draft classes. All busts, no NHL players in those 3 drafts.
It is 6 years later, completely irrelevant. You're basically saying Steve Yzerman can't stand on his own 2 feet and needed to be left a great situation. Then how good is he?
Right. And even if it took you 3 years to find out that those guys were bust, this is still 6 years in.
Enough with the Sandine Pellica stuff. He was scheduled to go to Grand Rapids, but refused and opted to stay another meaningless season in Europe, thus delaying his progress. Not a good look.
Oh, listen, needs more seasoning. Kosa, a little more seasoning. Look, I just get to a point I don't care. When Vasilevsky got drafted in Tampa Bay, he was up in 18 months. All right, this Kosa thing, I have a right to be a little concerned. This is taking forever. And meanwhile, the pick you traded is Wyatt Johnston. He'd be up here helping you now.
So at this point, what, Augustine gets here in, 31?
If at all.
He's back at State for another year.
Yeah, he's going back there.
Mike, you and I have a serious Wyatt problem, man. Our Wyatt issues are bad.
Wyatt and Wyatt. It's a new law firm. Wyatt Langford for me. By the way, Kenny beat me to it last night. He texted me, Wyatt bomb.
I love it.
I get the alerts just so I know. Okay.
How do teams like St. Louis, LA, Washington, and others reload and are competing for the cup? Yzerman has to go.
How did Washington go from being the last team in with the worst goal differential I've ever seen to being the best team this year? Oh, I know. Transformative moves. Because you can't be passive. Because you can't be rigid. Oh, I don't want to give out term. Then you'll never sign a great player. Oh, I don't want to give up my prospects. Then you'll never trade for a great player. And you end up here.
Someone says even the Capitals have better prospects than the Wings. Leonard, Hudson, Protas, and Crystal.
Well, look, the Protas thing, again, as a non-puck knower, I can tell you, look, that this season has come out of nowhere. And they can talk about how he worked on his hands all off season. The guy went from 3 goals to 30. He's a big-bodied Russian dude. But I want to defend the Wings a little bit. I don't think anybody in Capital Land was like, hey, Protas, he's sitting on a 30 burger this year. No one expected this. But I don't know, Puck. I don't know my elbow from my bleep ball.
Just another one of those 97-1 guys.
Kenny Shock Jock Cott.
I'm actually surprised Kenny got that much of a response on Twitter. I seriously forgot we had a hockey team because they've been so bad for so long.
Yeah, it's the longest playoff drought in franchise history.
Kenny, I meant to. So, was it out of spite, out of anger? Were you just joking when you did that? Because I didn't know what your mindset was, so I kind of left it alone. When you put the Wyatt Langford thing out, I responded back to you.
Yeah,
but that one, I'm like, nope. Not touching this.
No, I wasn't angry. It wasn't out of some sort of vitriol. It was more just me being a little bit snarky about it and trying to be provocative. But I did not expect that to happen because that was an explosion.
Yeah, I honestly,
I did say that. I said that.
Kenny, I pictured you like Homer Simpson on the couch with half a bottle of Admiral and just, what? Just fire him. # Let's go Red
No,
Wings.
and it was nothing like that because the reason I can't be like that is because it's not realistic. There's no world that I live in that I think, oh, yeah, he has expectations and is on the hot seat.
I think if you would have sent a message to the masses, if his name wasn't Yzerman, he'd be fired. It would be very hard to argue. You chose violence.
See, so Kenny, what you're saying is firing Steve Yzerman, if that were to happen, that would be like the Luka trade. This is a fake tweet. This is not real.
Oh, it would be far Far more shock.
I mean, think of it like this. And not to say that but imagine, if you would, please, the Lions don't make the playoffs for the next 3 years. Could you imagine people? No, Brad's cool. We need Brad.
Yeah. No. It's all good. I blame Bob Quinn.
6 years? No, 3 years. 3 years. And this fan base, you know what? Brad and his freaking receipts, he could just leave.
Yeah, no, I'd be more shocked. Like, the Lions could trade Jared Goff tomorrow. I'd still be more shocked by Yzerman getting. He has a lifetime deal. I don't care what anybody says. Until someone shows me the contract, it's a lifetime deal. He ain't going nowhere. If his name wasn't Yzerman, he'd be fired. But it is Yzerman. So it doesn't matter. But I don't think Kenny deserved violence for putting that out there last night. For people using Ken Holland 6 years in, enough.
Wait, did they threaten Kenny's life? Whoa! That's what.
Hey, Rieger, who's your new co-host?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wojo's here, guys.
Hey, hi, fellas.
Yeah,
How are you?
we're on for 2 long hours. By the way, I saw Kenny's tweet. Hey, did you guys?
And did you respond?
I did not. I
left that alone.
I thought he got hacked, actually.
No, why would you think that?
Let me ask you this. Did you guys hear it was crosstalk from the morning show to the midday show today? And Doug Karsh said twice, and he doubled down kind of like during the start of a show. He said, if Steve is around. Twice.
Whoa.
And I thought that was interesting because Doug's not one of these guys that just kinda,
on a Karshian scale of like being a provocateur, that's an 11 out of 10.
Right,
that's a death sentence.
For Doug, that is DEFCON 1.
Like, I text Jim, like, whoa, did he just say? And yeah, he said, if.
Like, the only thing Doug could do that would be more provocative for Doug would be just dropping an F-bomb outright.
Oh.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Or saying go MSU.
Very respectfully.
But yeah.
That was a miserable watch from the middle of the second period on last night because they did totally dominate the first period. But you know what? The Red Wings dominate in such a fancy pants soft way. They get lots of shots and they do tic-tac-toe. Every time they're in the puck, they never take a shot.
Hey, question. So
from
who
the left to the
built
right.
the soft team?
Who what?
Who built the soft team?
Ken Holland.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying. You knew when
No,
they shot
Yzerman, of course.
so many shots on goal and you had one. I'm like, this
there's no.
and I was like,
it was 25-7.
This is not going to end well.
It was the crowning jewel was Tarasenko helping give the game
No,
away.
that was lame. But what
How about JT Conn for not hitting a wide open net?
No, he had a wide open
right
net.
over it.
But you know why he didn't hit it? Because he didn't just he
didn't shoot it right away. He took his time.
He wanted to get it nicely on his stick. That's
Right.
all they do is get the puck
The perfect
nicely
shot.
on their stick.
I don't know if you guys heard it, but at the very end, I watched the post-game show, curious what they were saying.
Oh, I was on it.
And Dylan Larkin, no, on the FanDuel.
Yeah, we were on afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, always got to be about you. Anyway, Dylan Larkin
see me?
said, if we play like this going forward, we're going to be just fine. I'm like, dude, you have 5 games left. There's
quit.
no
He
way.
meant the first period,
There's
I'm
no-
sure.
Yeah, but it's over.
Was he talking about next year
All right,
already?
Can
I
I
mean,
just
I
ask
guess.
each of you a question? Because I think you both have immense hockey knowledge. No smarm. Are we sure Dylan Larkin is a first-line center captain on a Stanley Cup winning team?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not. And you know who else probably has never been totally sure of it? Is Yzerman. It's why he took so long to name him
They
the
had
captain.
to do it.
Okay, so what,
I know, he
what are
kinda
you
did
going to
have
do
to.
about it, Steve?
Well, that's a
Well,
good
here's
question.
a big off season.
That's a good
But
question.
Dylan looks pretty good when he gets to play with like the other greats in hockey.
Correct, he does.
Well, then why don't you go get Mitch Marner?
I would do that in a second.
But he's one of those guys that Toronto will never let leave.
He's an
from
unrestricted
Toronto.
free agent this summer, and every report out of Toronto is he's testing the market.
Yeah, that's what we thought about William Nylander, and he's back.
All
in
right,
Toronto.
then never try again.
I'm just saying, I don't believe
hey,
it. Down,
be
Rieger.
sure to read Jeff's new book, Never
I'm
Try.
not saying
It's
no
a
try.
bestseller.
I would be shocked. You said you like my hockey knowledge. The dude's from Toronto. He's part of the core four. They
Why
love
try?
him.
It'll only lead to disappointment. Jeff Rieger's Guide to Life.
Well, yeah.
We'll take that.
Listen, if Mitch comes here, that'd be fantastic.
It would.
All right.
They do need a major shakeup move. Major.
I like it.
Major.
I like
Major.
it. Go
Yeah.
trade for Scott Stevens.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Let's
out
see
of
if this
here.
summer will be the summer.
I want Joe Newendike.
Or next
All right,
summer.
Or next summer.
Yeah.
Or the summer after that. That'll be year 10, right?
What's
One
Chris
of these
Pronger doing
summers.
these days?
Up next, Alexander Mogilny. All right, we're out of here. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 2.
Bob
Rico.
Bugner.
Yes.
Oh, you say Bob Bugner?
Bugner, yeah.
Pierre Turgeon. Bring him.
David, you got to help me out. Shut their mics off.
Glenn Healy for goalie.
Natural weight loss.